Happy Friday to you. It is the Joel Natale Show. We're live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. Also live on YouTube and on Facebook, having the crucial conversations that Erie needs. And today we're doing a deep dive on local news. And so we brought the expert, the news director for Erie News Now and the corporate news director for Lilly Broadcasting, Scott MacDowell. Scott, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Appreciate it, man.
It's so good to see you. You and I have been out. We've been talking to schools lately
Yes,
and all over the place. It's just fun to be here. I truly enjoy stuff like this, guys. So
we love to get origin stories. So I'm gonna dig in because you are kind of from. You have broadcasting in your DNA, basically.
Oh, yeah. My mom and dad started at WDOE in Dunkirk way back, early 60s.
Wow.
My dad went on to the ABC affiliate in Buffalo. I ended up working at the ABC affiliate in Buffalo, and it's some of the best time of my life.
Wow.
Working at those places in that station. Life took me down to Birmingham, Alabama, CBS affiliate down there. I went through 5 different owners down there. And I almost ended up out in Portland, and then the Lillies came calling.
Wow.
And I saw how they operated in this market. And the minute I walked in, you know, it's funny, you laugh, you hear the "This is home" jingle that we use, but for me, this was home. I mean, it's 40 minutes from my hometown, Angola, New York, just down the road, and it made it great. It was a perfect fit, and these guys are just great people to work for.
Like, when you're growing up in Buffalo, what do you think of Erie? Like, is Erie a place to go, maybe to do Christmas shopping because there's no tax? How does that work?
For the longest time, Joel, we watched Buffalo and the waterfront and went, they've got to do what Erie's doing. Look at Presque Isle.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the stuff down here. It's like you guys found a way to cut through the red tape and open up that waterfront for everything that's going on down here right now, but still to open up that waterfront, it's what Buffalo always needed. And it's nice to see Buffalo slowly starting to go that way.
Because it was the waterfront was very industrial for Buffalo, right? I mean, again,
Bethlehem
huge.
Steel. Sure. It just wasn't this. This was the getaway. This was the place down the road where it was so cool to come down to Presque Isle and check it out. And Splash Lagoon, are you kidding me?
As a kid, did you go to Silver Creek, though, or some of those South Towns beaches?
Fishing. All the time.
You went fishing? Okay, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Up and down through there? Absolutely. Dunkirk, Silver Creek, Barcelona. I just took a ride out to Barcelona for weather coverage out there the other day. 20, 23, 24-foot waves before everything froze over. So I had a dear friend of me in the media business used to call me the Pope of Route 5. Because from one end of Route 5 all the way down through here, you know, I had it covered, but it was great. I mean, Lake Erie provides unbelievable stories.
That's true. That is true, isn't it?
From weather to you name it. People enjoying the water, but it is a newsmaker through and through.
Talk about news. Again, you got your start at ABC Buffalo, and thinking about what kinds of stories made headlines back then. And what kinds of stories make headlines at NBC and CBS Erie?
Sure.
Is there a big difference, you think, Scott?
Now, most certainly. Back then, it was Blazebusters, Irv Weinstein. The east side of Buffalo was burning to the ground every night. Buffalo's Blazebusters are fighting another 4-alarm fire on Broadway Street, that type of thing.
Wow.
It was if it bleeds, it leads, and it's changed.
Kind of that action news approach,
yeah. But a lot of that has changed.
Yeah.
You know, people want more than that. It's kind of, and you look at it here, and we really pride ourselves at Erie News Now on following what's the big story, what's most impactful to so many people day in and day out. So, you know, just get done talking with Eva Mastromatteo, with Amanda, with Adam Snow, our news content director, on what they're lining up, what they're doing for the day. But we kind of have that mission. It's not just about the flashing light in the car in the ditch. It's cold and pipes are freezing all over the place. And guess what? Your insurance isn't picking some of this stuff up. So we're looking at broader, bigger stories, more impactful stories. Don't get me wrong. If it's breaking news, we'll own it.
Right.
But it's got to be impactful all the way across. It just can't be the routine stuff anymore because people just tune out.
The what's so astounding is the sheer amount of time for news that exists. And so back in the day, let's say Channel 12 would have a 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. and maybe the cutaways on the Today Show.
Yep.
And now, I mean, what is it? We've got noon. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7.
We had a 10. We scaled back on that, but 11. But then we're starting at 5 in the morning. It's 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, 7 cut-ins. Well, fun fact here is we do so much news for other stations too, right out of Erie. When I first got here, Joel, you'll love this. I come walking into the station and I'm watching our weather people start switching into tropical tops. And this guy, Joey Stevens, I'd never met him before, and all of a sudden he's got a parrot on his shoulder, walking around the station. What am I doing in this place? It turns out that they're one Caribbean television station that we're doing everything for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And it's this neat, eclectic little group of stations that's just amazing. And it's amazing to watch it all come together. It is it's like a Jenga, the game Jenga, set up every day as we set everything up to cover everything that we do. But it's a constant news cycle, and now everybody's got one of these.
Right.
So it's feed the digital machine 24/7.
Yeah, I'll always see your reporters. They're doing a report on the phone, and then they have the cameraman and doing the shot, whether it's at the courthouse or at the
that warms my heart.
Yeah,
because I know darn well Joel Natale's not going to wait until 6 o'clock for his news. He picks up that phone and he's going to see Lisa Adams turning a story on the Phil, or our new mayor as she decides to speak. And there's Lisa giving you at least a preview, an update on what's coming, because you won't wait for it. It's not that anymore.
But in the midst of all of this, do you ever get the complaints that I hear, I don't know what's going on in this town? Again, at some point, we have to allow the receiver, the listener, the viewer to have some agency of, okay, if you want to find out, it's there.
Right. It's a matter of sorting through it all. There's so much noise all the way across. And that's the tough part, too. And I bring in so many journalists because everybody who has one of these is now declaring themselves a journalist in some form. So you want to find out what's going on. You want to find out what's truthful, too, along the way. And that's the tough part. So that's a lot of our promos. It's a station you can trust. It's a station that brings you your local important stories. Joel, at one point, I had to separate ourselves. We were running promos where I had to separate myself and let people know we're not CNN. We're not MSNBC at the time. We're not the networks. We live here. We shop here. We bring your local news here. We're not giving you all of the other political takes, all of the stuff, all of the noise that's in between. Nope. We're right down here for tall ships when they come in.
Yeah.
We're right down here for the eclipse when it came over Erie. The stuff that was really impactful across the way. And sometimes there's such a blurring of the lines where I'll take those phone calls, death threats, you name it. Yeah. They tie us to those networks, and that makes it really tough.
Yeah. Talk about coming up in the business here. What kinds of things did you do? Did you have to do a ton of writing? Were you doing stand-ups, editing? How did that all work for you?
It was interesting. My assistant news director back in Buffalo, Nancy Sanders, I love her to death. I will give her the biggest shout out because she was the biggest advocate for female journalists in Buffalo. But she took me under a wing and launched me off. And Joel, I started shooting 16 millimeter film because those were the stringer cameras that they'd give a kid in Angola. My dad worked in the business. I didn't have a driver's license. They had an arrangement with Lakeshore High School where I could be taken out to shoot a barn fire.
I didn't realize you were doing this in high school, Scott.
Yeah. I was shooting 16 millimeter film. I could still put it in a black bag, open it up, get it sent off, that type of thing, reload the film cameras, that sort of thing. They switched to 3/4. Anything that the big stations didn't use, they passed out to the stringers.
Right.
So I shot a ton of stuff there, worked my way up. I thought, between you and me, I thought it'd be great beer money. I didn't know this was going to be a career, Joel. I thought 30 bucks every story I shot and 12 cents a mile. I was living large. This was great. I got a kegger lined up this weekend. This is going to be great. But
I mean, that sounds like more than I made in a week at Dunkirk, right?
Yeah.
When I was making $5 an hour.
Exactly. But then the bug kind of bit along the way. I ended up with a part-time temporary job working overnights in Buffalo. And they had one of the most violent years, and I was on every shooting, every fire, name it, for almost 2.5 years. And it's funny to hear people come in now. Well, when can I work days? Well, let's see. I worked 2.5 years of overnights, 5 years of weekends, another 5 years of nights, slowly worked my way up into a chief photographer position. And my assistant news director let me know, no, you're not going to any of the Buffalo Bills 4 Super Bowls. You're really good at bad stuff. So you're going to cover bad stuff. Wow. So Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bombing. I was in L.A. for O.J.'s trial and his verdict. 9/11. 6 hours after 9/11 happened, my assistant news director at the time when it first happened, after the first plane hit, she booked me on a flight. I was supposed to take off. After the first plane, they canceled everything. We drove. Luke Moretti of CBS fame in Buffalo, worked with him for a long time, drove to New York, and we were there for 10 days. Plane crashes off of East Moriches in Long Island, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquake. I was in Northridge, California, because the company at the time had money to send reporters to California. I remember looking at our anchor going, why are we covering an earthquake in California? I had never felt an aftershock before. Let me tell you, it opened your eyes in a hurry about living in California, why I'm so grateful to live here. Wow. But the stuff that I covered, Pope John Paul II in Rome, his funeral, I get a lot of people that'll ask me, what's your favorite story that you've ever covered? It was a funeral, because I had never seen so many different religions, so many different groups come together with no hatred.
Wow.
It was all kind of, we're here for a reason, and it was something that I could shoot where you'd have to close your eyes to get a bad image on a day like that. So that what you just described has really changed too. I mean, again, we do send things. Your boys Ruzi and Phil are going to the Super Bowl, and so they make those road trips. But this kind of, I've got a flight bag, and I'm going. Always.
That's
always. I still do.
That's amazing.
I still do. In the back of the car, right out here. If I had to go for 3 days to wherever, if disaster strikes, absolutely.
Unreal. Scott MacDowell's with us here. We're going to take our first break. It's 4:19. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Stay with us. Talking the media and the news, Scott MacDowell is the news director for Erie News Now, corporate director for Lilly Broadcasting. Let's talk about the extent of Lilly at this point here, because you have the stations in Erie, Elmira, Marquette. Where else are you guys
U.S.
at?
Virgin Islands. We're down in Puerto Rico. Wow. We're in Guam. We actually do the news out of Erie, Pennsylvania for Guam. And it is a dance every day. We record in the middle of the afternoon. We do news for Guam.
What is that, 7-8 hours?
Yep, it sure is, Joel. It sure is.
Yeah, it's like, okay, good evening that you say this.
Our Mackenzie Robson anchors that. She comes in, and that's one of the first things she does before she rolls into an evening reporter shift.
Wow.
So the experience that you can get all the way across,
Amazing.
you get good, and then you find out right away, hey, there's a chance for you to anchor.
Neat.
And we do so much of that on a digital front too, where they're digital nowcasts. It's little snippets of information, stuff that you can use across your day, where we roll that stuff out. But it's so nice to work with the Gannons, with the Mercyhurst, with the St. Bonaventure, all the great schools. Ithaca, I was just at Ithaca last week talking to them. The opportunities. Chris Soul, our sports director, going with Mike and Philip, bay to bay, driving across the country. And this is a great story for you. I met him at a job fair at Ithaca.
Really?
And I rolled out, you're not going to believe this. I know you're going to shake your head, but if you come work for us, we cover the Buffalo Bills, the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I work for a company that really backs this type of coverage. You could end up going to a Super Bowl. And and then he signed on. Within his first year, he's traveling with Mike and Philip. Old school, and everybody thinks I got so much backlash on that. You guys are cheap. That's why you're making them drive. No, we're not. If I'd have got that assignment 30 years ago for Mike and Philip, and just, hey guys, take your time and tell stories across the country about the Super Bowl, about whatever. Yeah, we have sponsors that pay for it along the way. Of course, everybody does. But to tell those stories all the way across from bay to bay, from Presque Isle Bay to San Francisco Bay, is a lot of fun.
That's tremendous. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great group.
Go down to 80 and make a right. Just keep going.
Much it. Wave to Chicago if you're going that way.
Right, exactly.
They've been everywhere. They've been to Vegas. They were in New Orleans last year. We've sent them all. We're working on the Masters. We're trying to get them to the Masters, which would be a lot of fun. I've never been, but boy, that's a hard ticket. Even for media these days, it's a hard ticket. But we're working on it. Behind the scenes, we're working on it.
The networks, like you have NBC and CBS here, but you have other networks in the other markets,
ABC,
right?
Fox, we've got them all. We've got them all. In the markets we have, we touch all the bases, which is really neat.
What do you think about how people's viewing habits are? You mentioned that people are looking for that news from the phone, so Lisa does a stand-up with her phone, and we're getting it within minutes of the story actually happening, as opposed to waiting for 6 o'clock. What about even like primetime and stuff? It's like, are they watching the stream? Are they watching it live? Remember how we used to have appointment television? We would watch Seinfeld at 9 o'clock on Thursday night.
Most certainly. Joel, I was the kid that had to get up and change the channel for mom and dad. Click, 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 and that's all you had. So it was that type of appointment TV. It's not that anymore. It's where can I get it? Where can I get it fast? Your TikTok generation, on average, I have 8 to 10 seconds to try and hold somebody on TikTok. And that's something. How am I going to tell a story in 8 seconds?
You can't.
It's cold, it's snowy, you better watch, or you may have and they're gone. So there's that.
So what is the purpose of prime time, let's say? What does it do?
You'll still get more than your fair share of people that will watch, that will tune in, especially sports. We're really hanging our hat on the Olympics because it doesn't come up all the time. It's something different. And here in Erie, if you look out today, we had a little bit of sunshine, but you've got a captive audience. And I tell our guys that too. You've got a real window of opportunity. When it's this cold outside, you've got a captive audience. Be at your best for the big stories, everything else, because you see the numbers go up.
Right.
I can't sit here and tell you that it's a constant trend of up and up and up. There are drop-offs. There are a lot of people cutting the cord, and that's why you see us pushing plus channels, other ways to find us, and make sure that we're there for people. And I like knowing that when the chips are really down, those TVs still turn on.
That's very true. That it's basically, when you are thinking you want that stream, if you have an antenna, it's going to work. I've been on the antenna for years now.
Yep. A lot of people have. A lot of people, because it's expensive.
Right.
It's expensive all the way around. So people look for different ways that they can consume content.
Actually, there's some great side channel. I think MeTV is hilarious. I mean, there's just something there, right?
Oh.
And we, we like the ENN plus one,
Sure.
the channel 35.3s. It's interesting where viewership has changed, but you're right. Sports is kind of like the last bastion of appointment television, isn't it?
It surely is. And it's such a battle for it because you've got Amazon fighting over it now, Netflix fighting over rights now, including all your networks. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that shakes out.
Give a glimpse. I've got like a minute before the break. Give a glimpse of the capital investment it takes to do modern news and modern television these days. I mean, this is not a small business. This is big business.
No, there's FCC regulations you have to follow. There's so much that goes into it. Even if it's just setting up a newsroom, it used to be a lot worse. Joel, it was a lot worse. But now you can get away with the phones. You can get away with imagery and devices that capture what you need. It's not the $150,000 camera anymore, or even the $50,000 camera. A lot of people you'll find will use an iPhone 17 with the quality that'll blow your mind. Some of the bigger events that we do, it's going to cost. It's going to cost, but not nearly as much as you thought.
That's really wild. Well, Scott MacDowell is with us here. We're going to take our bottom of the hour news break, and you will hear some news, and then we will get an idea of more of what 2026 is ahead. What the impact of AI is making on the news business, and a whole lot more, and how to have a discerning eye of what's real and what's fake. More with Scott in a bit. It's Friday here on the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio. And we're talking shop with Scott MacDowell. He is the news director at Erie News Now. And Scott, I've been meaning, I want to ask you this question. So I am a faithful watcher of the Today Show.
Okay.
I watch it every day.
Okay.
I swear they are either obsessed with Erie, Al Roker is obsessed with Erie, or the connection with Dylan Dreyer starting from 12 as a pup reporter.
Yep.
Or the research is saying that we have this enormous share of audience in Erie. Is it one of the above?
I think it's a little bit of all of it. I really do. I think they're just enamored with the area. I think being a bellwether community for political stuff too doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
They know that. And the Dylan Dreyer thing's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Knowing that she got her start here. Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
But I'm like, okay, they could give the Buffalo, and they do, and they give the Cleveland temps, but I swear, I see it almost every day. They're giving the Erie temperatures, and I'm like, you used to see that maybe once a month, or
right.
Now it's almost daily in the wintertime.
Yeah, in the wintertime.
Yes.
In the wintertime. Because they know how brutally cold it can be. They know we get pounded with lake effect, and they like to take their shots. You know who's great about it, too, is Steve Scully.
Oh, yeah.
He is such a fan and is such a supporter, and he'll call me out of the blue if we get a storm and want to talk weather, too, and it's funny.
Oh. So you'll jump on his show?
I'll jump on a show, but I'll flip it around. I said, you can talk all you want about cold, snow, miserable. You've got to come here in August.
Yes.
And then you've got to see the fall. So no, you're not going to take me. And he's very, very good about it. But still, I'm a big supporter, big endorser of this whole area because it's beautiful. And I've lived in Birmingham. I lived in Birmingham, Alabama for 8 years. It's great, beautiful. But when the heat hits, it's like being in a blizzard. So from June 1st until the end of September, you're cutting your lawn at 6 in the morning, or you're doing your chores at 9 o'clock at night, that type of thing. So I know this area through and through. I'll take the snow, and I can be a snowbird when it's nasty. So.
Talk about the economy of it all. And again, I don't want to go too crazy with the inside baseball, but a market like Birmingham.
Yep.
Now they call that the Pittsburgh of the South because of the steel mills.
Yep.
But is that even happening anymore? I mean, have they lost industry down there?
A ton.
Yeah.
A ton. And we did more stories on regulations and polluting in that area in North Birmingham, and a lot of the stuff that they were pumping out in the middle of the night that really polluted the communities terribly. But they've scaled back a ton. It's just not like it used to be.
Have they pivoted more tech and all that stuff?
Big time. Medical corridor.
Yeah.
Almost like any of your cities do. It's more the medical corridor, your tourism, that sort of thing. They drive everybody, they call it the beach. And you're 4 hours away from the beach, but they still, hey, you get to the beach, which is Gulf Shores.
Right, yeah. You're going down to Destin or Panama City.
Orange Beach. Beautiful areas. Yeah. Beautiful areas, but I still wouldn't trade this place in, not for the world.
Amazing. The as far as we do a lot of conversations. You listen to the show. We do a lot of conversations about population loss, and we don't have the big companies here. We're kind of manufacturing is in decline, but not gone. But we have the meds and eds, and we need to build our workforce.
Yep.
How does that impact either story decisions or even how you keep the train running at the TV station?
For me, it's a recruiting tool.
Okay.
Hey, folks, when was the last time you lived through a hurricane and had no power? Don't have them here. Sure, we get some cold. Yep, we do. But if you haven't been here for a fall, that type of thing, I use it as a recruiting tool. You don't have the blistering heat. Yeah, this summer was hot, but come on, not that bad.
Right.
You look at all the things that this area brings, and I really do. I use it as a recruiting tool. And your cost of living. Even to Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, try that apartment for somebody who's just starting out in the business. You'll pay a third to almost a half less, and you'll get experience here that you'll get no place else. When was the last time you anchored Guam or reported something for the Virgin Islands, or on and on and on. There's so many different types of
Yeah,
opportunities.
you're not kind of when you're doing media market television, you do almost everything right away.
No question. No question. And it's a good thing. But we also don't give people a cinder block and say, here, jump in the deep end of the pool.
Right.
Because you're sitting next to a Lisa Adams, a Mike Ruzzi, an Amanda Post, an Eva Mastromatteo, and on and on and on. You're John Stalins. You've got that much experience all the way across with so many of these people. And it's wonderful. Jameson Hicksonbaugh went to Louisville and came back. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. His wife's over in Cleveland. They just had a baby, which is wonderful. But he brings a ton to the table. So I've got this wonderful core of people. So when you bring people in, they get an opportunity to learn and grow. And then all of a sudden, you've got an Elsbeth Meisner on your hands.
Yeah.
Who's just a rock star. And she had never done TV for a second when she stepped into the business, which was wonderful. Philip Ward, same thing. But sat him next to Mike Ruzzi. And I'm not talking out of school, but I'll tell you what, to see Mike Ruzzi light up with his buddy Philip there when they hit the road, I mean, it was just the right combination between those two. Chris Soule, Logan in sports, same thing. These guys they'd done some in school, but that practical experience that we can give them and the time and patience along the way to make sure that they succeed is critical for them. And it pays off.
I want to make sure that we cover some new developments at Lilly Broadcasting, and that is an extension further into radio, which is really exciting for me to hear about. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. The ink isn't dry yet,
Okay.
but it is close. Media One Group is out there, and we're working on finalizing that deal and getting that all wrapped up. But it's wonderful.
What's your ownership think about radio? They seem to be bullish on it.
They really do, because I think it's one more vehicle that makes that perfect partnership between TV and radio. We really do. I think we found a really good mix to blend the two together, and it works. Yeah. It works.
Right now you have the Warren stations and you have the Happy station.
We surely do. We surely do. And you'll hear a lot of our TV stuff hit the air there. But it's fun to be part of. I'd much rather be part of a group that's doing things like this, that's moving forward, because I've seen the groups and been part of the groups that it's a cut and a cut and a cut and a spin-off and everything else, and you don't want to be part of that. You really don't. I love knowing that there's growth, and that's so important. So important, especially with radio, and I'm a big endorser of radio. So,
what it's saying is, maybe, it's counter narrative to this concept. Well, people are finding their audio in other places. Radio still owns the car.
Yep.
And people are finding radio. We found out actually, I think more people are listening to AM/FM, but on Alexa,
sure,
than other channels.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite stories out of radio, too, we were just talking about it in the break. Some of the best TV people that I've had have been on radio because they learn how to read. They learn how to broadcast read. They learn how to develop their voice. And then that look comes along with it. One of my favorite stories out of Buffalo. She does real estate now down in Ellicottville, New York, Melanie Pritchard, but did the same thing.
Wow.
Was GR55. All of the radio. She was news up in Niagara Falls, but then worked her way into that anchor spot in Buffalo. And it was just the perfect, almost a daisy chain of stuff together that worked out really well for her. So it's fun to see, and I really do. I hope you see more and more people go, yeah, I want to be the next Joel Natale here, and rolling it out. I'm dead serious. That's
amazing. That's very kind of you to say.
Sure.
I want you to weigh in on AI. Because I think I think we could say, yes, it could bring a lot of benefit. It could be an aid for your reporters. But for the listeners and viewers, they've got to be watching what they're consuming when it comes to AI.
I got to be careful so somebody doesn't run me out on a rail over here. However, but I run into a lot of that where it's, get it out of here. I don't want it. I don't need it. It's here. It's here. And I kind of look back at when websites started, when digital started, when email started. There was a huge pushback there, too. It was the same type of thing. Computers are taking over the world. But your AI now at every National Association of Broadcasters show I'm going to changes again. I think I'm settling on something that is going to be, this is going to be for Lilly Broadcasting, and away we go. It changes again.
Wow.
And over 6 months, it changes again. But I equate it to, it's an intern that you can use, but it's going to make mistakes. And you've got to back check it. You've got to be transparent. You got to let people know, because you're doing a real disservice, and you're crippling your brand if people don't know that you had an AI assist on something.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important too. Handy, of course, to dig into material and quick writes. And I find myself using it for emails and more administrative stuff. And sometimes it's amazing. And a quick story, I was with Mike Ruzzi. We're at it was a Save an Eye function. And I'm sitting there, I took a couple of pictures off of my phone, and I had my AI program, and I had it read the pictures of their brochures and told it to write me a social post.
Wow.
I think I changed 2 words out of the whole thing. And it was that quick. And Mike's looking at me going, when did you write that? You're here and you're clapping, and it's Save an Eye, and it's a great organization, and you can turn stuff that quickly. But again, beware. Read it over. Slowly read it over. Make sure the details are there, the facts are there, because you get burned too. When it first came out, you had high school football teams that were playing in middle Pennsylvania, and the story came out, and they went unchecked. They just let AI have at it, and it spelled out both of the football teams with wrong names, wrong mascots, you name it.
Yeah.
So you've taken your credibility and just crushed it right there. So you got to be very careful. And it
can be a tool for your reporters, but the viewers too have to watch. I think this came up this week. You guys had to wrestle with a situation where
knew you'd go there.
Well, no, and I thought I really wanted to commend you for how Erie News Now handled this. Somebody pinched, like, I don't know if they pinched your logo or pinched the way you did something.
Sure they did.
And they made a false claim that I think Northeast School was going to be closed today.
I'm glad you're old enough to remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 9 times as the computer's going down. And,
wow.
But yeah, basically tried to close the school, have extra snow days, that sort of thing. And that's the type of trouble you can get into with it. And same type of thing. We're so careful with all of that. And that's why take the time, read it over, look at your sources, because there's so much video slop out there. And that's really driving me crazy too. And I'm sure it is for you guys too. You look at some of this stuff and go, come on, where its face is imposed or superimposed, and on and on and on.
I'm trying to figure out how they have like wild animals, hugging people, like full-on tigers. I'm like, no, this doesn't seem right.
Last conference I was at, there's a hashtag movement now for Keep It Real, and you're seeing that. Keep it real out there, of all things.
Yes.
And I think you're going to see a cry for that as well. How do I know it's real? And fact checkers and AI checkers. And there's some out there now where you can put a document in and right away if somebody AI'd up the entire thing. I can't even imagine being a teacher today.
Wow.
Or in a college and you're writing the paper, and how do you discern from one to the other? And I know they've got the programs out there, but still, it's one more step. It's one more thing. It's all of that. Knowing there's no way, you wrote like Shakespeare
right.
all the way through your paper.
Right.
Didn't happen. So.
Yeah, again, my opinion is that every side of legacy media has their place. I mean, when I was starting the radio show, I said, the TVs do their thing, the newspaper does their thing. I think there's a place for this show. But you grew up reading the Buffalo News, the evening news, right? The BEN means the Buffalo Evening News.
Yep.
Talk about newspapers and how does that prompt you guys at Erie News Now to kind of have to fill the gaps, because there's just not as many reporters at the Times as there used to be, and so on.
That's so true. And look at Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh, that was a shocker.
May 2nd, that big of a paper going down in flames. I mean, not even a digital edition. And I know Buffalo's had their problems too, same type of thing. It's journalism. It's journalism. And we're watching it go. You know, you're right. Buffalo News, the first thing I did, grab the sports section. I wanted to know about, you know, Joe Ferguson and the guys in the 70s and everything else. And to see that go away. But the nice thing with the Brian Lillys of the world, with our company of the world, is they're ready to offer lifelines to people too. Hey, why don't you come on over and check us out? And we've done some of that too, where we've reached out and same thing. I'm going to try reaching out to Pittsburgh and see if we can throw a lifeline there too. But you're right, there is filling some of that gap. But I think some of what's hurt are the paywalls, especially in our generation. You know that if you're going to pay for something, it better be spectacular journalism. Because if you're not, you'll find it someplace else. You know darn well you're not going to sign up. You're not going to go through all the hoops. If you can find the information, you'll go someplace else. And that's a real quandary for so many of these bigger papers that have to. They have to put up paywalls to try and keep their organizations going.
Is anybody at TV doing like a plus kind of deal? I mean, again, you would be more in touch with that than I am.
I can't think of one that's doing
so everybody's. I mean, you think about CBS Pittsburgh.
Yep.
You know, which is the old Westinghouse.
Yeah.
And it's all free. KDKA, right?
You'll see ads. You'll see digital insertion, that type of thing. They'll sponsor. You know, you'll have to wait for a pre-roll or something like that, but it's not paywalls. So where you're indebted to that.
Yeah.
You know.
I will say this, like Lisa, when she's writing for the website, writes like a newspaper journalist.
Oh, she sure does. She sure does.
You know?
And that's why I'll never let Lisa Adams retire.
No,
ever.
Please.
Ever. No. Same thing with Ruzi. Same thing. They're just not going to get away from me. Eva, same thing. Nope. No chance. Won't let them go.
What's coming up, do you see, in the next 12, 24 months? Anything on the horizon? I keep on hearing these, ATSC 3.0. Is there new technology coming down the pike?
There's a lot of it that's out there, but a lot of it up in the air with the current administration.
Okay.
So, yeah, you've got Next Gen TV that's out there.
Is that what they call? Okay.
So that's out there. AI in the midterms.
Yeah.
Watch that. Midterm elections are huge on our radar. Obviously, I mean, right down from you guys here, protests, Minneapolis. Where does it go from here? I don't have a crystal ball where I can look in and go, what type of fresh set of hell are we going to witness today?
Yeah. How much of your story meetings are you telling the guys and gals, or are they telling you? Like, because there's pitches, right? They'll make a pitch.
Of course. It's always, I want to hear from everybody.
Yeah.
I will take as much diversity as I can in a newsroom, because that makes a good newsroom. And I want to hear it from everybody. And, and I've heard horror stories out of other stations where, well, you're too young. You just sit here and listen. We'll decide the news today. Well, it's a huge disservice. And I encourage everybody, any of our people, new, older folks that are here, look either way, take different ways into work. Come and sit with Joel every now and again, or talk to Joel when he's talking to a class and see what he's got going on in the world. There's so much of it out there. But no, this isn't we're going to lay down the law. Right. I want to hear from everybody. And
how about viewers? How do viewers connect with you? What's the best way?
1,000 different ways. Facebook, emails, phone calls. We're still so old school. We'll get the letters.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
You get mail.
I sure do. Oh, yeah. And then I get jail mail, Joel. You should see some of those. Some of the topics they want to address.
The jail mail.
Oh, the jail mail is a good time. Oh, yeah. And it'll be pages and pages and pages, expecting us to read through all of them, but we do. And we pride ourselves on trying to get back to everybody. Yeah. There's a lady in Warren who sent us a letter. And it was all about our donut deliveries and would we ever consider a Friday donut delivery out in Warren, that type of thing. And she's going to get a surprise. Next time I go out there, I'll make a point of it. Somebody that would, and you think about that, somebody that would take the time to take pen to paper, a stamp? Are you kidding me? And roll that up, but I will. I'll swing by and I'll make a point of doing stuff like that, especially in the cold now, too. I just suggested to our morning team, maybe it's not so much the donuts, but see if we can get an extra couple of containers of coffee and run around with that too. The people that have to work in this stuff, because that's brutal. So you think we got it tough?
Yeah,
exactly. We don't have it tough, Joel.
No, I'm able to run like you say, you got the phone. I can run the whole radio station on my phone.
It's an impressive setup. I like it a lot.
Well, Scott, I think viewers would not have any clue of when they drive past the station on State Street, all that's going on behind those classic brick walls, because it's a beehive of activity, whether it's in news or sales or in engineering. I mean, just everybody. It takes so many people to make this happen.
It is constant. It is constant. Our engineering support with Jason Clock, our director of engineering there, is just nonstop. There is always something that needs fixed.
Mm-hmm.
He's constantly busy. So hats off to them. It's neat when you drive by that building to know that in 1949, it was the first building in the nation that was actually built to be a TV station.
Exactly.
And I don't lose sight of that any given day when I walk in. It's like, yeah, this is kind of a holy grail of places, and you wouldn't think, right here in Erie, Pennsylvania, and that's what makes it so special. It's a fun place to be.
Well, I think in the next couple years, where Erie is going is going to be an exciting place to cover.
Yep.
I'm pretty excited about what we've got in store for our community.
No question. Right there with you, and I'm hopeful that we can get you on our 4 o'clock program, Left and Right, to come down and chat.
Oh, I'd love to.
Happy to come down here anytime.
That means Shaney has to run the show.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. More the merrier. Shaney's got to come down too. We'll get you all on there. We'll keep the AI away from you, though. That I promise.
Scott MacDowell, he's the news director for Erie News Now and Lilly Broadcasting. Thank you. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
Alrighty, it is 4:57.